Good morning, welcome to my channel No Ball Review. I've been testing the longer 12-volt Nano now for about 4 months. I have had lots of difficulties. The first unit that was sent was faulty, wasn't able to communicate, and then I found a broken galvo mirror inside. I spoke longer and it was sent back and I had to wait for a replacement. The second replacement came, unfortunately caught fire, and again, it was a problem with the galvo mirror stuck, and when the laser fired up, it basically burnt itself inside out. So I had to wait another month or so, and then this laser turned up, number 3. Much better, but there is some inherent problems with the laser, and I've constantly been speaking to Rita, well, she's basically the Facebook support person. She's not technical, and explaining the issues that I found with this particular laser. One of them is, when you power the laser up and connect it to Lightburn, if you do not go to console and click the carve option, and you send a command to it, like for instance framing, it locks the laser up and the mirror gets stuck in a horizontal position and it won't move. And then that's it, the laser's then screwed up. Now when you do a framing, the framing only happens in the bottom left hand corner. No matter where you put the workpiece on Lightburn, it stays in the bottom, and the only way to cure that is take the galvo lens off and touch the mirror gently with your finger to move it out of the locked position. Then power it down, power it back up again, go into Lightburn, and then click the carve button, and then it will frame properly. And I've mentioned this several times to them, but they don't seem to understand. I'm dealing with someone that deals with Facebook. They won't put me in touch with technical directly, so it's word of mouth, so this is where the translation's getting lost. And I've said to them, what is the point of having a connection to Lightburn and nothing will happen unless you click the carve button. So as far as I'm concerned, I said there should be a software routine. As soon as the laser's powered up, it sets the mirror in a correct position and it auto selects carve. So if you want to use the rotary, then you click the rotary selection. So I'm not sure why they've done that. I think that's where the problem lies. Secondly, as the laser is here at the moment, it's fine. As soon as you start adding things like this, this blue thing I've made, this, which is the extension one for the rotary and the side extension, the tolerances on these castings are terrible. So basically you put it on there and the whole thing wobbles left to right and front to back. So I've designed this 3D printed thing with 0 tolerances, a little bit of silicone grease down the side, and that basically lays in the slot there, and it gets rid of all the errors as well. Also, when you put the laser head on top of here, it also wobbles, and then as you see on one of the brackets I've got, a 2nd gen bracket, they put grub screws in it to alleviate the casting. Again, it's terrible. So what I've designed is a plastic 3D 1mm thing that sits on there. You bolt the laser to that and there is no movement whatsoever. Again, I don't understand why they've done that. And again, the same with the bottom casting here. That is terrible, and again you need a spacer like that to remove the issues. Going on to the slide extension, they mentioned in the videos using these slots here, these little angle brackets, and putting them along this edge here. That doesn't work because the slide extension I was sent to test, the feet are double the height of the original ones. Then when I questioned them about that, they said they had to raise the feet height because the laser wouldn't focus properly. So in doing that, raising the feet, there's no way you're supporting this laser on this base because it's way above these little angle bits. And quite honestly, if you're doing production work, the last thing you want to do is just plonk something on there and have it moving. So I've designed this thing, 3D printed it. It bolts to the existing base using these tiny little screws that come with the original laser, and you bolt it down in a set position, and then basically you turn this knob here, and it has a little flat rod that pushes up against the side of that laser. So once you've got this aligned with that on, obviously first of all, and your spacers, and this is clamped down, then you can do production work with a laser. Otherwise, if you don't use this or any form of physical clamp, if anybody moves or that gets knocked your work is completely out of alignment. So I don't understand why they've designed such a thing without a physical clamp. Anyway, I've designed this, and I've sent them the drawings and stuff, and they have done nothing about it. I've designed that, and it's alleviated it, but they haven't followed my 3D print. They've designed a complete new bracket, which has been sent out for me to test in the next couple of weeks. But all they've done is they've cut a slot out of here, put another slot inside with a load of grub screws like this to physically get rid of the play. When what I've made there cost about 5p to produce, that gets rid of everything. And it's a simple, quick fix that everybody can have. Yet they've over-engineered it by cutting a bracket out. I just don't understand longer why they do this. I'm trying to help them. I've spent over 100 hours doing design work for them, and quite honestly, I'm very disappointed, to be honest. Welcome back. I'm not sure if you can see, but what I've done now, I've taken the head off and I've put the extension arm on to use with the slide extension. Now, if you look, that's bolted down as hard as I can get my hand. And if you look there, the whole head moves because the spacing. I can get a metal ruler under there and it still moves because of the casting is terrible. So my idea of adding the little plastic plates will alleviate that. Right, if I take this off, as you can see, I hope you can see this okay. I put my 1mm plate, which is 3D printed accurately, over the top of there. I then put that on top. Straight away, no movement whatsoever. Problem cured by a 1mm spacer. Yet longer, I've redesigned this bracket with a load of grub screws you have to manually do every time to align it level when you don't need to. It's a simple design and that fixes that issue. Okay, now we're going to take this off. This hasn't got the plastic thing onto it, and the thing I've designed there, if you can see, clips inside this bracket, so this will never move. It's fixed to this steel plate. So 1mm spacer in place. I then slide that over the top and then screw it up. Done. There's no movement left or right or front and back. One piece of plastic, the cost of 5p to reproduce, is cured all the problems. A 5p spacer or less than that, and this, say 25p, that is cured all the problems. To 3D print this down here, I'd probably say 50p. So these two things straight away cure the problem. So then when you get your slide, you lift the slide in to whatever position, I've done the bolt, sorry, whatever position you want it to be at. And then basically you use the laser to get the end stop. And then once this is done, you can then tighten this thing up here underneath. This bed will never move. This moves backwards and forwards. And so all the work on here can be accurately reproduced without any movement. So without this thing on the bottom I've designed, you've only got to touch that a fraction or knock it accidentally, and it's offline and all your projects is finished. So the idea of having a slide extension that's not fixed to the base properly is ludicrous. And again, these small upgrades, I've sent them drawings and they have not listened to me. They've gone down the other route of re-engineering this bracket with grub screws in, which is not necessary, and it will end up damaging your machine if you over tighten it, because what it will do will put force on the motor. The tolerances in this piece of plastic here with the silicone glue, this slides up and down effortlessly without any issue whatsoever. And obviously if that's in the way there, which it is now, you to undo these two things and then move the plate away, so that it allows it to go up and down. So you've got full control over this space by two little grub screws and a knob. Simple. Why don't they listen? Now, when you go onto YouTube, there's no one at all explaining or showing you them actually using this slide extension for multiple jobs. You get the odd person in the old version where it's sitting against the base of this and it doesn't mention that if it gets knocked. I believe that most of the videos out there have been given free goods, so they're at liberty to explain in a nice way how wonderful it is. Now, I've paid for my goods, apart from they've sent me this to test, and the rotary, and they both have got faults on. I will do another video showing you the rotary problems as well. Again, I've showed them some updates, simple things, drawings, and yet they don't listen. Go round and round and round in a loop. The problem I've got now with my laser head is that it keeps locking up. And the laser's locking in one position. I was doing some batch lasering of some egg boxes, funny enough, and the laser locked up, and then all of a sudden it was overwriting itself. And I thought, what's going on there? So I went back to the framing thing, and it just framed in the bottom left-hand corners. Powered the laser down, powered light burn. I couldn't cure it. So what's going on here? So I took the laser off and noticed the mirror got stuck again in the middle of a job. And they keep saying to me, oh, it could be interference on your serial port. It's not. It's the laser. There's a problem with this one. I don't know if anybody else has suffered the same problem. If do, please forward it to me so we can get some more evidence. So at least they need to try and listen to one of us and make this thing a better thing. Because there's people copying this already. Believe me, there is. This is a very good design, well manufactured, but poor tolerances on the castings and poor designs on fixings. That's all I can say, really. I'm very happy with the laser, and I will continue to work with Longer to try and help them fix it. But if they're not going to listen to me, which they haven't done for the last 2 or 3 days, I've said I'm going to produce a video on YouTube and let the world come to me with their problems so they can see it's not just only me, it's everybody suffering from the same fault. So, thanks for listening. This is No Ball Reviews in the UK, Norfolk. Many thanks. See you soon.